Okay, welcome back, everybody. Another week of training here. We are 1 week closer to nationals. Getting pretty excited. The events are decent for me. Definitely, I need to do some work in, especially the deadlift and the bag carry event. But that's something we're going to iron out closer to the day. But for now, had a great week of training. I was off this week from work. I work for a small kind of construction crew, so we all just take 1 week off in the summer rather than trying to book, one guy's off this day and that day and whatnot. So I was off this week and had no plans, which meant some nice heavy training while at home. I got some extra calories in this week. I was able to kind of get it a little bit, but mostly just did nothing but eat and train. So led to some great training days. Monday, we have our heavy press. Again, working the log. I was doing a couple sets of, I believe, triples, and then I worked up to a top single just for fun because I felt good. So this set of three here is at, looks like 190 maybe? 205, sorry, that's 205. So you can see I'm kind of taking a step back, taking a bit more time on these sets, really just trying to make sure I hit the reps that I need. Again, I'm not prepping for my log. I'm not peaking my log for anything. I don't have it in nationals. It's just something that I kind of need to always be working on, always be improving. And yeah, that felt really good. And then this is our top single that I just decided to throw on, make sure I had it. This is just 220, so well under my PR. But kind of looking back at my training, kind of realized I was at a not much higher body weight, but definitely 10 or 15 pounds heavier than I am currently sitting. So would need to put on a few pounds, I think, to get that log back up into that 250-ish range. But for right now, the strength is coming along well, and excited to push it even further. You can see there I did the press and then just a few kind of lockouts. I like to add those in on some reps where it's maybe a single or a double, and it feels maybe not 100%. Like if it got a little bit away from me or a little bit hard around the top, I just do a few press outs just to make sure that lockout strength is there. And of course, back to my incline dumbbell. This is feeling really, really good. Same as I've said for the last couple weeks. Feels really good in the chest. Gets that little bit of shoulder activation, and obviously a lot of work on the triceps. This is a top set of, I think, 8 maybe at 75 pounds. So again, had a bunch of volume in the log, so weight is down a little bit, but still in a good spot. Making all kinds of faces here. But I'm going to keep pushing this number. Once it kind of plateaus a bit, I'll take it out of my main accessory, and I'll just plug it in as a kind of flex there, looking like an idiot. I'll take it out of my main or kind of secondary movement and add it in as a later accessory. And then doing some basic Larson press here, just again for some variety. 185 for a set of 10. This was my last set. Got a little hung up around the 6th and just racked it, did 2, racked it, did 2. So got the full 10 reps in. You can see here I put my feet down just to add that extra bit of stability. Other than that, pressing is moving well. Really just trying to build up the tricep strength, and then get back into heavy circus dumbbell. It kind of got a little bit stale there, getting close to provincials because I was hitting that 150 mark every week and didn't want to push heavier and didn't really want to go lighter and just hit reps because I was already hitting that 150. So I took a bit of a step away from that being my main kind of movement. And then we'll get back into pushing it up into that 160 range, which I have done. And yeah, we'll start pushing that number up higher, seeing if we can get, up into maybe a 170 for a 1 rep, and then try and get that 160 to that 2, 3, maybe 4 rep mark. Accessory movements for the day. We had some lateral raises. I was just trying a different variation to keep them fresh. So you can see I'm just using the cable for single arm. And was somewhat hard to isolate that side delt. But once I kind of found the right angle, it felt really good. And then some front raises, just first chains, adds a little bit of instability, and just helps work that shoulder in a different way. Um, Front raise is, again, something that just hits the front delt in a different way. You kind of get a little bit of chest activation if you do it wrong enough. So can't complain about that. And then finish that with a couple doubles here, and you can see how much the instability is working. You can see it knocks me forward. And then I just finish it off with these last 2 reps. And then we move on to Tuesday. Tuesday, our squat day. This moved really, really well. Again, being off work, my back and hips are not nearly as fatigued as they usually are coming into my Tuesday session. So I just decided might as well take advantage of that and put some big weight on. Again, as I said before, had some extra calories in. So I decided to work up to a top triple. The plan was, I think, 4 sets of 5. Excuse me. So I got a couple sets of 5 in here, one at 315, and then a set of 5 here at 345. All moved really well, so I just kind of reinforced the fact that I was going to go heavy. I think I might switch my variation for squat over to either a straight bar or the axle bar with the camber attachments, and maybe do it against some chains or bands just to get the hips and back used to firing a bit faster. I know people think that the speed or dynamic training is a bit of fugazi, but it in the past has helped me get a bigger deadlift. Last year prepping for nationals, I used a lot of heavy squats, first chains and bands, and it definitely pushed my deadlift up into a PR. So going to be adding that back in and seeing if it helps. Also going to be doing a lot more work on quad isolation work, things like split squats and belt squats, and pushing those a bit heavier than I have, because this week I kind of realized I was certainly sandbagging them. So this is 370 for, I think that was 3 or 4. And then here I loaded on 410, which I believe I've done 405 for a double on the SSB. I know I've done 410 to like a super high pin. That was maybe a year or 2 ago. But I know I've definitely not done 410 on the SSB for a full squat. And I've definitely not done a set of 3 over 400. I think at all. So this was a big set for me. First one moved really well, but certainly put some doubt in my mind, because right in the bottom it felt extremely heavy. As you can see here, I set the pins a bit higher just to make sure that if I did get into that sticking point, I would I'll be able to give up safely. This third one, I really was not sure if it was going to go. Hit the hole, maybe it was a bit high. Blast with the quads, and then the hips and back take over as soon as I get out of the bottom. I was pretty hyped about that. And then our accessory for the day, main accessory, I guess I usually call it like a secondary movement, where it's still kind of like a big compound lift, but it's not like my main focus. So secondary movement for the day was RDLs versus chains, and you can see I'm just up on those kind of blocks just to make sure I get more out of the chains. So this is 295 versus, I believe, 60 pounds of chain, and these absolutely smoked me. So I'm not sure if that's because I'm weak or if my RDLs suck, but likely going to be keeping these in, maybe swapping them 1 week on these and then 1 week on my SSB good mornings, just to work this weakness, which is clearly there. You can see how much that kind of smoked me. And then moved over to some belt squat. You can see I've only got 2 plates and 2 quarters. And I did a set of 20 with relative ease. So the next set I loaded up 4 plates and finished that set out, and it felt kind of just as easy. So I'm going to try and figure out a way I can load these even heavier. I'm not sure how much the lever arm I'm using can handle, but I'm definitely going to test it, because sets of 20 should not be feeling this easy. and I can definitely push these a bit more. They feel really good in the quads. The sorry, my dang mic died. Uh, the belt squat feels really good in the quads and takes out some of that spinal loading, which especially after heavy squats like I did, a little bit less, CNS fatigue and kind of spinal wear is not a bad thing. So finish it off with a tempo squat here, and definitely had the legs shaking. Definitely pushed this hard. But yeah, overall feels really good. Finished the day with some hypers. I'm glad I'm getting back into these again. I'm excited to kind of do these in a different way. Maybe not, fully extending at the top and maybe rounding the upper back a bit more and focusing just on that full extension of the hips. Could be a different way to work that machine. Thursday, we had our accessory press day, working the trap bar pin press. I wasn't sure if I was going to keep this in, but I think I'll kind of see it through for this, next block or two, or a week or two. And then I'll switch back over to maybe a push press or another strict press variation. But I'm going to just kind of keep lowering the pins. So before I had it kind of at my forehead height, this is now at kind of my eye level, and then I'll just kind of keep working it down until I'm, just at the chin and doing a regular strict press. But this is, I believe, about 150 for a set of, was that 4 or 5? But yeah, felt really smooth. No real issues. Secondary movement here is the close grip low incline with the axle. This is 185. Very good weight for me, especially on anything incline. Historically not good at that. So that lower incline just helps me, get a bit more of the front delt and triceps involved, and just get a good solid press. And of course, I had my coach, Max Wilson. It's funny enough, I was actually talking to him on this day. He texted me and thought it was funny that I mentioned the video, and I'm sure he's going to watch this video too. So there you go, getting some more airtime. Andrew Wilson, check him out. He had a great show at North America's. What was that? I guess 2 weeks ago now. So good job to him. Congrats. The fuck are we talking about here? Neutral grip pull-ups. I was doing these weighted. This is my last set where I just had it unweighted, and I got some good reps in. Trying to add those back in on all of my press days, just to balance out the vertical pressing with some vertical pulling. Friday, I had to train like 5:30, 6 in the morning. I'll talk about that. Axle bar, we had 475 for a set of 4. This is moving extremely well. The week I'm posting this, I'm going to try and get that axle bar up to a 500-pound double or triple, seeing how we feel, and then we'll make the switch back to our deadlift bar to get ready for nationals. But I am a firm believer that the axle bar will progress all your deadlift variations. With that, just slight, half-inch deficit it gives you. 0 whip you need to produce. If you have 475 on the bar, you need to produce 475 from the floor to get that pull. You get no leeway. So definitely going to be keeping these in. And then I had a set of 8 at, I believe that's 395. Felt really good. Secondary movement was going to be front squats. I just decided to change things up here and go with a zombie pin squat. And these will be replacing my front squats for a little while. Not being able to use your hands to keep the bar back really, really forces you into that upright position and absolutely lights up your upper back. And then using the pins, again, just enforces that good position. Because if you get forward or back at all, trying to get it started off the pins in a suboptimal position, if we want to get scientific, is extremely difficult. Using the deadlift bar for those squats makes it feel even better because that thinner diameter just really makes it sit on the delts perfectly. You do feel like you're going to choke out and die, but it's a very good squat variation. Highly recommend. Some penalty rows with the axle bar, sets of 7 here. I believe that's about 220, 225-ish. And some more hypers. So Friday I had to train in the morning. I was heading down to Toronto with some friends to catch a Jays game, so that was pretty fun. That also meant I didn't get to do my Saturday strongman, so wasn't super jazzed about that. But I've had a very fun weekend, so not going to complain too much. Because I got to get my events in on Sunday, which I almost never do. Was seeing, all the guys prepping for Quebec provincials doing the Zercher yoke, and it looked like it sucked so much that I wanted to do it myself. So I was doing a EMOM of 40-foot runs, and then ended there with a 405 for 40 feet. Felt really good. And then some farmers. This is I think it's 285. And then did a 315. And then I made my big goof for the day where I wanted 355 per hand for 25 feet. It's a goal I've had on my phone for a little over a year. And so I wanted to cross that off. And I almost did. I got about 23 feet. Look how slow that pick is. Oh my god. Got about 23 feet, and then my left hand opened up. But I'm sure, as you're seeing right now, that damn right pin is not loaded properly. So I had 350 on the left and 335 on the right. But I was still happy about it. 350 is definitely there for that, 20 feet, maybe that 25-foot mark if I work on the grip a bit more. But thankfully, I only have to do 275 at Nationals, so going to take a step back from the heavy stuff and get working on some speed, because that is an event where I need to make up some points, as the deadlift is probably going to hurt me. And then some circus dumbbell, real light. This is, I think, 120, maybe 125. You can see I've got no belt, no elbow sleeve, just trying to limit myself and work on the speed, form, technique. 125 for a set of 4. Felt really good, really snappy. Can definitely work on getting my kind of second dip there, kind of the jerk style. Kind of work on getting a bit lower and shooting that hip a bit faster. But felt really good. And then finish the day with some standard sandbag loads. This is 250 to, I think, 54 inch. And just did this for 5 sets of doubles. Tried to keep the rest time fairly low. But I do have one of the, sandstone bags from Inclusive coming in. So I'm going to be married to that thing for the next couple of weeks, trying to mimic stones best I can. And then I'll try and get my hands on some stones as we get closer. But that is not the priority right meow. We got a lot of other things to worry about. This video does not want to get recorded. But that is all I have for this week. Next week, obviously, I'm going to be, or I guess this week this is posted, I'll be back to work. So hopefully that doesn't jack up my hips too much, and I'll be able to keep this kind of good momentum rolling into a solid prep for Nationals. So thank you everybody for watching, and I'll be back next week with some more training.